brothers and sisters, I'm very happy to speak to you once again on this column that's called The Shepherd's Voice. Last week, I spoke about the shepherds, and this year, almost at the close of the year, I'm here to speak to you once again on the blessings, on the graces that God has given us. May I first wish you a very happy new year. We have made it. We have almost reached the new year, and God is destined that we should continue for some more time. Every day, every month, every year is a grace and bonus. They tell me after 60 years of age, every month is a bonus. And therefore, I'm sure there are many like me who would bless and thank God for these bonuses that God is giving us. And as for the youngsters, you have a long way to go. Perhaps some more new years you will have, but then every new year, every year is special. The Holy Mother Church dedicates this day of the new year to Mother Mary. Mary is our mother, and she is called on this day under the title of Mary, Mother of God. It's a beautiful title, that Mary, who is human, is given the privilege of being the Mother of God. And Mary, in all her humility, in all her simplicity, accepts not only the title, but also the role and responsibility that goes along with it. And that is why it's blessed for us to have, or rather to start the year with the name of Mother Mary, Mother of God. And being the mother who is so close to Jesus, she also holds us very close to her heart. And now perhaps I can ask you, what do you look forward to in the new year? I can't ask how it has been in the past year, because for many it may have been a very difficult experience. It continued the balance of the corona of last year, and in some ways, for some people it was harder also. The schools were once again closed. Our offices, we could not have that much of business. The economy crashed, and the poor became more and more poor. And in this situation, the whole year was another waste in a way, with no income, with no resources, with expenses doubled, with loans increased, and surely the anxieties of the people. Many people lost their lives. Many more are getting into the shape, as it were, after this hard, what we call the corona effects. Of course, government has helped us to have precautions and precautionary measures by having what's called the vaccinations, the first dose and the second dose. But then all this, what does it show to us? It shows us the precariousness of our life. The precariousness of our life. We can take care of ourselves to a certain extent, but ultimately we are in God's hand. Secondly, this year also was a year of blessing for us in another way. That the Holy Father, Pope Francis, who thinks aloud, who thinks anew, and who thinks always looking towards the future, gave to us what we call the gift of the Synod. And therefore the year that is going to start, we are going to call it what's called the Synodal year, and Synodal consultations, because ultimately the Church is a synod. And the synod means meeting the people, taking the people along with us. The document of the Vatican Council, Lumen Gentium, defines the Church as a pilgrim people, always on the move, always moving towards God. And therefore, as pilgrims, the Holy Father wanted us, first of all, the pilgrims to be brought closer to the church by listening to them, by consulting them, and by various forms of dialogue by which the people and their opinions, their wishes, their aspirations, their hopes are taken into consideration. So therefore this I think is the positive aspect that the Holy Father gives us, to go back to our people, to make the church what we call the people oriented, and in that sense perhaps once again to take the people along with us in our journey of faith towards God. There was a small, another aberration, I would say, a disturbance for us, especially for Christians, in the form of what's called the anti-conversion bill, that the government was keen on bringing it to Parliament, to the Assembly, and getting it passed. We Christians made the required noises in many places to protest, to say that it is not necessary, because the Constitution has its provisions, and surely if there are any aberrations by way of fraud, by way of force, there are laws and regulations in the country which can take care of it. But somehow the government perhaps didn't have trust in us, and they, on the guise of forceful conversion and fraudulent conversions, they have brought about this bill which was passed in the Assembly and still needs to be passed in the Council. We hope and pray every moment that this may not be passed, because unfortunately it is giving rise to so many other vigilante groups to take action against the Christians for various reasons. For example, as you know, the Christmas celebration was disturbed in a school in Bangalore. In our own district, we have 2-3 incidents where the churches were vandalized, the statues were thrown about. And in this year, there have been almost 40 incidents in Karnataka alone, where the churches of the Catholics, the places of worship of the Protestants and the others were also attacked, and some things were disturbed. And therefore we pray to the government, we pray to God in a very special way that the government can give us a little more of sort of consideration to our request to live in peace, to live and let live. The Christians are always for the progress of the country. The Christians are always, in a sense, we are at the service of the others through our education, through our hospitals and healthcare, through our social services. We are always at the service of the others, and therefore may the government trust us and give us a chance to serve as much as possible the poor. This is our request, this is our prayer. And as regards the message for the new year, I once again go back to the message of Mother Mary, and as Mother Mary accepted in her life all the good things, and at the same time things that were not so good, in an equanimity, in a phase or in an attitude that after all it's God's will that is done in our life. You know, this beautiful sentence in the Gospel of today, when the angels have gone, have proclaimed, when the shepherds have come and greeted, in the 2nd chapter of Luke, in today's Gospel, there's a sentence which expresses Mary's predilection, at the same time her acceptance of God's will. The Gospel sentence says, Mary listened to these things in her heart and kept them in her mind. It's like Mary meditating over all the things that have happened in her life. And that is what perhaps we also ask ourselves. We are asking God for great things. We are asking God for small things. But ultimately we have to bless and thank God for our existence, that God has given us another year. God has given us another time. God has given us another opportunity to proclaim His goodness, His greatness among us. So my dear brothers and sisters, I wish you a very happy new year. May this year be a year of blessing and grace for you. I would like to make a small 1 or 2 announcements for this week, which perhaps might concern some of you. You know, we are to celebrate the feast of the infant Jesus that comes on the 14th of January, and the novena normally starts on the 4th of January. As things are not clear, in fact, the things are restricted, and the things are also perhaps not to be publicly done so as to disturb the health and the security of the people. We would like to do it in a low scale. The flag hoisting itself, we do not know when it will be on the 4th. At the same time, the Navina days, there will be masks inside, nothing outside. And as far as possible, we request you to cooperate, to keep up the what we call the COVID protocols, the distancing, the mask, wearing the masks, and also sanitizing, etc. There's another announcement that I would like to make also, our priests of the Archdiocese. We are, after our earthly sojourn, we are buried in the cemetery of Sacred Heart Church. Unfortunately, as it was full, we have given instructions to our people also, wherever the cemeteries are full, that they should cooperate in allowing us to transfer the remains or the little things that are there, the bones and the perhaps little physical effects of the persons, to keep it in the what we call the niches that are specially made in our cemeteries. So also for our pre-cemetery, unfortunately, because there is no place, we are shifting the remains of the priests of older age, maybe 100 years or so, the old graves, and we are placing them in the niches so as to make place for the new ones to be buried. And therefore this renovation of the cemetery, which is being done, will be blessed by me on the 7th of January at 4 o'clock, for which I invite the people also. At 5 o'clock is the parish mass, which I will celebrate, also remembering all our departed priests who have served so zealously, devotedly, and the Archdiocese is what it is because of their struggles, because of their sacrifices, and therefore we pray for them very specially. And I invite you, if possible, for this program, this spiritual program of blessing on 7th of January at 4 o'clock. May I also make reference to the COVID developments that are taking place day by day. The government is reporting that the cases are increasing, and there is a new sort of strand that is coming, what's called the Omicron, for which we have to be very careful. So I advise you, please take care of your health, please take care of the precautions, especially of your children, please take the vaccines, and at the same time, for this new virus that has come, follow all the directives of the government in order to protect your health and also the health of the others. I wish you once again, my dear brothers and sisters, all the joys of the new year. God bless you.